Will they? Will they? That's a question I asked this morning because patience is not a natural characteristic of the human person. Perhaps it's uncanny that I speak about patience this morning because to me it's one of the most difficult of the fruits of the Spirit. As Paul talks about the fruits of the Spirit, he gives us a list. Patience. What is patience? The dictionary has about 5 or 6 different subtitles or definitions for patience. But patience, bearing pains or trials calmly or without complaint. Calmly, without complaint. No, patience is not a natural ingredient, not a natural characteristic of the human race. I mean, think of babies. As soon as they're wet, they cry. They want attention. As soon as they're hungry, they want attention. When they want to be picked up, they cry until they're picked up. Think of the young child, as I talked to this morning, who comes and wants lunch. He wants it right now. He doesn't want mom to say, well, I've got a couple of things I've got to do before I can make your sandwich. Or how often do I hear a mother tell her child, just a minute, I'm talking to your dad. Don't interrupt. We don't like to wait. We don't like to be put off. We like our agenda. After all, we have something in mind. Patience. They will know that we are Christians by our patience, or will they? How often have you been driving down the highway? Perhaps you got tickets to the afternoon baseball game, and you know the game starts at 7 o'clock, so you leave home at about 5:15. So you have plenty of time to get down there, park, get in your seat, and be ready for the game. You're driving down 75, making nice time, 70 miles an hour, right within the speed limit. You got lots of time until you hit 12-mile road, and all of a sudden, all the cars in front of you, the taillights are lit up. You're in a parking lot. You've got an agenda. You've got a date to make. You've got a destiny, and you can't get there because the traffic is all backed up. The traffic in the left lane looks like it's going a little faster, so you duck over to the left lane so you can get there maybe a little quicker. Until a mile down the line, you've spent 20 minutes waiting down, 20 miles down the line, it says left lane closed. Now you've got to find your way over to the right lane, into the right lane, and all this traffic. Finally, 45 minutes later, traffic opens up and the bottleneck is done and you're on your way, but now you're going to miss the first 2 innings of the ball game. Here's another experience I think you can all enjoy and relate to. You're hurrying in the morning to get ready because you've got a 10:30 appointment at your doctor's office. You get there right on time. You sign in. You wait. You wait. 45 minutes, the nurse comes in and says, okay, it's your turn, and she takes you back into the back, gets your weight, does the things she needs to do, and sets you in a room. And you wait. It's said that a doctor who has patience with his patients will have patients who are patient. Patience is not a virtue that comes by easily. Patience is an ingredient of character which, well, we used to say when we were kids, patience is a virtue, find it if you can. Seldom in a woman. Never in a man. Well, as kids and boys, we should turn that around, of course, and say, turn around. But nevertheless, it's patience. Patience is an ingredient that we need to cultivate. And it only comes with cultivation. Paul, in writing to the Galatians, the chapter, the verse that we're following for these 9 weeks, says that these ingredients, these characteristics which I yearn to have with you are like fruit. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control. They're like fruit on a tree. Wow. One tree bearing all this fruit. All this fruit, it becomes a spectacle, it becomes an attraction, it becomes something that others look to and you're drawn to it. Think about driving down the highway at 75 down in Florida, you go past those orange groves. And they're laden with these lovely oranges. And you know there's going to be a bumper crop. Well, Paul is thinking about the church and how they're to reach out and how they're to be the essence of God in the community. And he says you got to have these fruits about you so that you can be unto others what Christ is unto you. He talks about patience. Patience as fruit, something that comes by a lot of work. In Psalms 1, the author talks about a tree planted by the rivers of water that flourishes. He says that it brings forth its fruit in its season. In other words, when it's time for it to bring fruit, it's there. You can count on it. It's going to be there. And its leaf does not wither. In other words, once it produces, it doesn't die and go away. But it continues, and it's going to be there another year. You see, we all know when strawberries ripen, right? Late June, early July, you go and pick strawberry, you know they're going to be ripened. You know the raspberry is going to follow on that, so early July, you pick raspberries. Peaches come on later on. But we expect a tree that is planted in good soil and a tree that is nourished by the farmer's, by the orchard man's care, is going to bring forth that fruit in its time. And we look forward to that. We look forward to a product that has to do with our working, but also has to do with the goodness of God who brings the rain and brings the sunshine and brings all the ingredients that it requires that the garden would grow, that the orchard would blossom, and that the product would be there on time. But he says there's a special ingredient, there's a certain thing you've got to do. He says it doesn't come naturally. He says in the first Psalm, blessed is the man, or blessed is the person who doesn't stand in the counsel of the ungodly and walk with the wicked and listen to the scoffers. For his delight, that person's delight is in the Lord. And on his law does he meditate day and night. You see, there's a process. There's a process by which this fruit will grow. It's not just automatic. We need, as the people of God, to be studying the Word. We need to know what's in it. And we need to know the blessings that come from reading it. For in the blessings of reading, in the blessings of studying, we let the Holy Spirit work through us to take care of the unnatural things and make them natural. Paul, in writing to the Colossians, the scripture that was read today, looks at it a little differently. He says again, we need these ingredients. He says, put on blessed of the Father, put on, you chosen ones, holy and beloved. Wow. We are holy and we are beloved. Put on passion, kindness, lowliness, meekness, patience. Put on patience. Put on. You see, Paul is again looking at these ingredients that we need to show off to the world. And he thinks of them as a garment, as the things that we wear, the things that people can see, that are exterior, that are evident. Put on patience. Put on that characteristic that allows you to wait and not get all upset. It's kind of like going to your closet and you've got an invitation to a very important event, and you go to your closet and you find there a suit, a nice silk suit, just back from the cleaning, all pressed and beautiful, and you put it on. But then you go to your tie rack. I don't know about you guys, I got about 100 to choose from. I got so many that are falling off the tie rack on the floor. My wife picks up doing fidgets and that. But there's that tie that has a silvery glint to it. And along with that silvery glint, it's got a nice black paisley pattern. Forrest knows about paisley ties. But it's a gorgeous tie because it shines, and along with that nice gray suit, you're a spectacle to behold. You're dressed to the ninth, as we say. And you're going to be evidence in that gathering. Or for the women, you go and you pick out that beautiful blouse, a beautiful pink blouse, and you put it on and a white skirt. And then you want to choose something special, so you find that nice silk scarf that you bought, pink with a touch of purple. And it just sets apart that dress and the garment you've worn, so that as you go to this function, you will be noticed. You see, Paul says we are to be noticed, and we are to be noticed for the things, the ingredients that are not natural to the world. Patience is not natural. We don't want to wait. We don't want to be put off. The other day, about 3 weeks ago, I went to Kroger's over there on Dying Linden. I'm saying Dying Corona. And I got my 4-item, put in the basket, and obviously I'm looking for the shortest line, right? I don't want to get in the long line. I'm looking for the shortest line, and behold, there in front of me is a woman with a basket full of stuff, but she's almost through. She's only got 3 more items. Oh, that's the place to go. So I pull up behind her, put my stuff on the bed, yeah, you know what. You put it on there, and as she rings up the last of these 3 items, the lady hands her a wad of coupons. 20 of them. I don't know. I couldn't count them, but give or take 20 of these coupons. And so the teller dutifully goes through the coupons and takes off the money and so forth. She comes to this one. She says, "Lady, I'm sorry, you can't use this one." Yeah? No, it's outdated. It outdated last Saturday. This is Monday. It outdated last Saturday. The lady gets irate. She starts arguing with the teller. But it's only 2 days. Yeah, but it won't take it. I can't do it. Well, you did it before. Why can't you do it now? As the conversation goes on, it gets louder and louder and louder. Finally, a manager hears all this and decides he better step in. So he comes down, asks the teller, "What's the problem?" The teller says, "Well, this lady has all these coupons, and this one is outdated, and I can't process it." The manager looks at the lady and says, I'm sorry, we can't process this. Again, she gets angry and she doesn't understand. Well, she understands, but she doesn't want to understand. She goes through this process, and again, she's arguing, and the voices are getting louder, and the confrontation is getting more severe. Finally, she's okay, I'll give it back. Now we've got to go through all those groceries and find it. Fortunately, it happens to be one of the large jugs of laundry soap. So they take it out and put it on the counter, and she storms off in a huff. And the manager says, that's life. I'm standing behind this lady in the shortest line, expecting to be out of there, expect to get on their way. But Pastor Carol asked me to preach this Sunday. And as I stood there, I thought, Peter, have patience. The Lord teaches us this characteristic in strange ways that we've got to learn. And it doesn't come naturally. But as the people of God, we need to demonstrate the love of God. God has been patient with us. God expects us to be exotic people. And as we portray Him through demonstrations of being patient, God helps us. God has been patient with us, so we ought to be with one another. By so doing, we'll be seen as living examples of God, the God we serve. We will be seen as trees planted by abundant water that bears an abundance of spiritual fruit. And yes, they will know that we are Christians by our patience. It's not a natural ingredient. It takes work. But God expects us to bear the fruit of patience, to be clothed with patience, so that we can be His demonstration project in the world that He loved so much that He gave His only Son, that whosoever would believe in Him would not perish, but have everlasting life. We have a responsibility to bear fruit. We have a responsibility to be the light of God shining in darkness, so others may see our Christ and want to follow Him because He saw us. God bless you. We will rise and sing. After we have sung our song, we will not